It's a popular sentiment that BMW has sort of been losing its grip for the past decade, or more, depending on who you ask. The general consensus for enthusiasts is that things peaked around the E46 M3 in 2006 and maybe leveled off until the E90 M3 in 2013, but the company has gradually been sliding into a shadow of what it used to be. That's really an oversimplification, though. The fact of the matter is most drivers' cars have gotten a little worse in all the little subjective categories car people obsess over, like steering and brake feel. It's at no fault of their own, saving fuel has a lot to do with it. BMW also lives in this reality of course, but even with that considered, the 2020 BMW M2 Cs keeps it at the top of the heap. The M2 Cs is a small car, one that sends all of its straight-six power to the rear wheels through a 6-speed manual transmission. Specification-wise, it's very similar to an E46 M3, except it makes more than 100 more horsepower and a lot more torque thanks to twin turbochargers. The CS designation means it's track-focused and stripped out, but as you'll soon read, it costs more than a conventional M2. A lot more. Is a car that, and let's just get this out of the way right now, approaching E46 M3 levels of good worth $93,095? 2020 BMW M2 Cs, by the numbers. 2020 M2 competition base price, M2 Cs as tested $59,895, $93,095. Powertrain, 3.0-liter twin-turbo inline-six 6-speed manual rear-wheel drive. Power, 444 at 6,250 RPM. Torque, 406 lb-ft at 2,350 to 5,500 RPM. 0 to 60 miles per hour, 4.0 seconds. Top speed, 174 miles per hour. Seating capacity, 4. Trunk volume, 13.8 cubic feet. Curb weight, 3,545 pounds. EPA fuel economy, 17 miles per gallon city 24 highway 20 combined. Quick take, BMW never lost it. What makes it a CS? To know what makes the CS special, we must first know the M2. To start, a regular M2 makes just 362 horsepower as compared to this car's 444. Sitting above the mid-tier M2 competition, the M2 CS gets the engine out of the previous F80 M3, which means more intensity and grit as compared to the engine found in the regular M2, which is basically a tuned-up version of the engine from a 335i. CS means competition sport in BMW's wide-ranging nomenclature, which both makes sense and is a little funny. Historically, CS was often followed by another letter, L, which stood for lightweight. The M2 CS is relatively light for a modern car, but it's heavier than the regular M2 by around 50 pounds. Admittedly, it's so close that it makes no difference, but if there was ever any debate within BMW about calling this thing a CSL, well, that likely put a stop to it. So the CS may be a tad heavier than the regular M2, but it still gets a bit stripped out for the sake of being more track-focused and nimble on its feet. The lack of a center armrest is a little strange, but really that's the most noticeable part. You still get heated seats, a fully capable navigation system and infotainment with Bluetooth connectivity, and air conditioning. Really, it's pretty hard to notice what the Bavarian automaker removed to save weight, which is a good thing. Having driven a few regular M235s, the M2 CS is more or less a regular 2 Series with a bit more suede and carbon fiber. Not only does the M2 CS feel like the real deal, you couldn't touch this thing with a 10-foot pole and not know it wasn't something special. It looks the part, too. Thanks to flared arches, a carbon roof, and massive gold wheels, you know it means business. It's easily one of the best-looking BMWs you can buy right now, though not for much longer, with the new 2 Series imminent arrival. The front and rear fascias of this car work together in a way that few other cars, not just BMWs, can lay claim to. It will truly be a shame when this generation is sent out to pasture. I wouldn't mind seeing this car in showrooms forever. Driver orientation. The important part of this car isn't how cold the AC blows, though. Given its stance in BMW's lineup as the smallest and most athletic of the M cars, this is the closest thing to that old ultimate driving machine ethos that used to be found across the company's entire portfolio. Just like the visual drama, its purpose is immediately apparent when you first get in and set off. The suspension, throttle response, and steering are all adjustable via hard buttons on the center console. The suspension is stiff and a tad bothersome on rougher roads, but this is also an M2 CS. It's going to be like that, and adjusting the dampers to their softest setting really didn't do much.